There's a type of soil failure every gardener dreads, the lifeless, compacted clay bed that seems to repel roots and water alike. You dig into it and hear a dull thud. Water puddles and refuses to sink. Your plants sulk, yellow or die off entirely, despite your best efforts with compost and mulch. But here's what many gardeners still don't realize. Dead clay isn't a matter of poor nutrition. It's a microbial collapse, and no amount of digging or dumping compost on top will bring it back unless you repair the living engine beneath. The good news? You don't need to till, and you definitely don't need to break your back. A little-known Korean trick using simple kitchen waste like rice rinse water and barley straw can breathe life back into even the most stubborn clay, naturally, quickly, and without disturbing your soil structure. It sounds too easy, but the science behind it is rooted in centuries of traditional farming and modern microbial biology. Let's break it down. Alright, first we need to understand what dead clay really means. You see, clay isn't bad soil, it's just misunderstood. It's actually rich in minerals and has the potential to be incredibly fertile. But when it becomes compacted and stripped of life, it locks up. The structure collapses, pores vanish, and water can't pass through. Now, oxygen gets squeezed out, leaving no room for microbes, roots, or insects. Over time, this lifeless plate turns into a biological desert. You can compost all you want, but if that compost can't penetrate the layers or be accessed by a living microbial network, nothing will change. So, how do you reverse it? The answer lies in fermentation, a method used by Korean natural farmers to awaken microbial life using basic organic infusions. And two of the best tools for the job are fermented rice water and barley straw extract. Start with rice water. Every time you rinse rice before cooking, you're washing off a thin layer of starch and beneficial bacteria. Most people throw it away, but in Korea, farmers save it, ferment it, and use it as a microbial inoculant. Rice rinse water contains simple sugars that wake up native soil bacteria, especially in clay, where starvation has killed off most life. When you ferment this water for a day or two in a loosely covered jar, just enough to let gases escape but not enough to allow mold, it begins to develop a rich community of lactobacillus and yeast. These microbes are powerful soil softeners. When poured over compacted clay, they begin to colonize the surface, digest organic matter, and build biofilms that break apart hard particles. Think of them as nature's gentle jackhammers, opening microchannels, increasing porosity, and inviting oxygen back into the system. Within hours, you'll notice a difference in water absorption. Within days, worms may return, and within weeks, that once dead crust starts turning darker, softer, and alive again. But rice water alone isn't enough. That's where barley straw comes in. While it might look like dry, useless fluff, barley straw contains cellulose and a host of trace minerals that fungi love. When soaked in water for a few days, barley straw begins to break down and release soluble carbon, fuel for deeper soil microbes. It also supports the growth of beneficial fungi, which are especially critical in clay, where bacterial dominance often leads to imbalance. You can think of fungi as the architects of soil structure. Their hyphae glue soil particles together into crumbs, creating air pockets and stability. Without fungi, clay remains stuck. To make your barley straw infusion, soak a handful of straw in a bucket of clean water for 3 to 4 days. Stir once daily. When the water begins to smell slightly sweet and earthy, not rotten, it's ready. Strain the liquid and mix it with your fermented rice rinse in a 1-to-1 ratio. Then go ahead and drench the soil surface with it in the early morning, when microbial activity is just beginning to rise and, the temperatures are still cool enough to encourage colonization. Repeat this every few days for about 2 weeks and, honestly, something astonishing happens. Clay soil that once cracked in the sun now holds moisture. The surface that used to repel seeds starts to actually take them in. Earthworms tunnel in from the edges, and those previously stunted roots suddenly begin to expand. And all of this, by the way, happens without any digging, amending, or, breaking your back. The reason this works so well is because you're not just adding nutrients. You're rebuilding the soil ecosystem, giving microbes, fungi, and worms the tools they need to restore the structure themselves. Unlike tilling, which destroys fungal networks and compacts soil over time, this Korean-inspired method feeds life from the top down, letting the soil repair itself at its own pace. And it's not just a one-time trick. Once you've reactivated your clay with rice and barley extracts, you can maintain its health with seasonal mulching, no-till planting, and periodic microbial teas. Over time, your soil gets better and better, darker, looser, and more fertile. And your plants will show it: deeper roots, better moisture retention, and reduced disease. If you've been stuck with dead clay soil that refuses to grow anything, don't give up. Skip the shovel. Skip the synthetic fix. Try the gentle, proven power of rice water and barley straw. It's low cost, completely natural, and aligned with the way soil wants to heal. If this guide gave you something useful to try, hit that subscribe button and share it with another gardener who's fed up with fighting the ground. At Soil Doctor, we bring you practical soil science and ancient wisdom that work with nature, not against it. See you in the next video, and remember, life starts underground.